people.
Hey guys,
Hello.
It's VMP's Tuning Tuesday, Season 2, Episode 29. And we're here to do the thing. It's me and Matt.
Yes.
Back with you again on the, what would it be? What's that? The old thing that used to be on at like midnight. Susan's like...
Infomercials?
It always come on around the same time as Beavis and Butthead, but it was like the sex education thing.
I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
had some like intro.
Sex education. What is that?
Talking about like
How did
real
we
sex
get
on
into
HBO?
that?
Huh?
Is it MTV?
Maybe. No, I don't think so.
I
Had like the old lady.
Oh, you
Oh,
Dr.
this
Ruth.
with yeah.
Late night.
The old lady, you could call in and she would answer all your questions.
Dr. Ruth.
Yeah.
Well, that was her name, but she had a show.
So
Yeah.
what does
Oh,
what
it
does
was
this
a
have
Talk
to do
Sex with
Dr.
Sue.
Ruth?
Well, when I opened up, I was like, "You're here with
When
the
you
late
opened up?
night Tuesday
I thought it was like Talk Sex with
cartooning
Sue or
question."
something
Yeah,
like
talk,
that.
Yeah, talk sex, something like that. Except this is Tuning Tuesday, talk tuning.
And she kept a really straight face through all of those questions.
She did. There was a lot of weird stuff going on there.
Of course, we were
Bless her
teenagers
heart.
when that show was on, so we're cracking up.
I know she's. Probably, I wonder if she's still doing that.
It was called Ask Dr. Ruth.
John
Oh,
Baggett
so
says,
she was right then, yeah.
yeah, John Baggett says, pretty sure that was Cinemax, Joe.
Skinamax.
Yeah.
We didn't have that when I was a kid.
We had HBO.
We didn't have HBO. when I
No,
was
we
a
had
kid.
HBO.
Oh, someone else says Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Exactly.
We have some shout outs. Why don't we go ahead and kind of get them roll through those real quick. Mustang GT says first. Well, if you're not first, you're last.
Accurate.
AC469 says hi.
Hello.
John Bailey says be right back. Okay, John, see you later.
Come back to us.
Gun Shooter says oh yeah. Aiden says hello, peoples of the world. And then hi, VMP, when we did not answer.
Hello.
Hola.
Let's see who else is kind of saying hi in here. Melvin Vega says, what up, Team VMP? John Baggett says, Team Tripod.
Yes.
Danny says, I
My
so
man.
love Matt.
Oh
Jesus.
my. Mi
Yeah.
amor.
Eddie Michelle Howard gives a thumbs up. Hello. And I think that's kind of our... Oh, and Ryan Neville says, hi from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
All right, so I'm going to address the small elephant in the room. I'm wearing a Chesty. Why am I wearing a Chesty? Because we're doing Tuning Tuesday, but we're also doing VMP's Day in the Life of a Tuner video that you guys will
A
see.
day in the life of a calibrator.
Yeah.
Starring
No, tuna. T-U-N-A fish.
Is it T-U-N-A?
Yeah.
Mike Whedon says, nice suspenders, Joe.
Thanks, Mike. It's actually my overalls.
Doesn't look like it's super uncomfortable.
Jeremy Russo says, can you tell Matt and Joe I said A?
Hey.
Dorian Johnson, hey y'all. And Joe 50 says hi.
Hola. I'm going to adjust the angle of the dangle. There we go.
Oh, one click up.
Yep.
Did Chris ever confirm the visual
Do you have
that
the
he's getting?
Do you have the roundy round there, Chris? Is the roundy round on the Chesty working?
It is.
Okay. Perfect.
Danny says he missed cuddling with you, Matt.
Danny's a good cuddler.
That's
Is he
like-
warm or is he cold?
Depends on which, if he's big
I
spoon
have
or
to
little
tell
spoon.
you, based off of some of the conversations we had in here earlier about
Who's it?
accidental
Chris,
dates,
you stole my strap on.
I just
Classic.
we're also talking about bro dates.
Oh, bro date.
Accidental bro dates, like
We'll explain later.
What about like brocations?
yeah,
Rotations
no,
are
this
fun.
is kind of like you go and you think you're hanging out with a bro, and the bro thinks that you're actually on a date.
Oh,
that's
definitely
awkward.
awkward.
So exactly awkward.
So Danny, got it.
Vincent says hello. We got a bunch of questions coming in. So
Let's do them questions.
Come at me, bro.
Asking all them questions. Making statements. Assuming.
what version do you think they are offering for the 18 plus?
Huh?
That's what he says. Let's see if,
I think that's it. I think he's asking a question of the other members of the audience
yeah, maybe.
in reference to the release video that we put out.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It just literally says, what version do you think they're offering for the 18 plus? So that's
Gen
got to
3R.
be regarding the video that we probably launched today.
I can tell you it's definitely not 2300.
No. No.
Give you a wild guess as to what that leaves you with. Ba-da-dum-bum.
What color do you think VMP C8 will be?
Ooh, I don't know. It's kind of Justin's thing.
It's probably going to be black, because I don't like any of the colors they have available, really.
Red or dark blue for me.
Actually, you're right. I don't mind the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Corvettes, but see, I'm not a red person, but everyone's like, you got to have Corvette red. And
I can see where they're coming from.
or yellow. I don't mind yellow.
Yellow's good too, on some cars. And it depends on the yellow, because like
And they don't
zinc
do-
yellow, I really
Well, you
don't
see that
ever
they're
wanna
not doing
buy
a chrome
zinc.
wheel option.
Interesting. Just polished?
For the first time ever, they're not going to have a chrome wheel option for the Corvette.
Stu says, Dear VMP, I want to live long, happy life. Goal is E85 and making 700 to 750 wheel. Is a fuel system based on GT350 pumps shooting myself in the foot.
If your end goal is 700, 750 wheel on E85 with a PD blower, then that fuel system will suffice.
Yes.
But it will not leave you with very much room to grow in the future. At least not without fuel pressure dropping. And Dan?
What's the difference between a Whipple and VMP blower? Which is better?
A lot is different. Better
lot
is
is
going to
different.
depend on who you ask. If you ask me, our stuff's better.
The rotor packs are two completely different designs.
Mm-hmm.
They use a 6 and 3 rotor lobe, I believe, or something
I
like.
think it depends specifically on which blower you're referring to from them, because I think
Yeah,
some
that's
of
true.
them are
Because some
5
of
and
them,
4. And
some of
then-
them are 5 and 4. Yeah, the Eaton TVS rotor pack is the most efficient rotor pack on the planet. That's pretty much proven.
Yeah, displacement for displacement is definitely the most
Yeah,
efficient rotor pack.
it can't. It's almost there's nothing out there. So, but
And I guess we have to qualify that by saying at
certain speeds,
certain
and-
pressure ratios.
Yeah,
and
certain
motor
pressure ratios, certain speeds. It's extremely efficient rotor pack.
speed. Mm-hmm.
That being said, the Whipples have their place too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
What's best for what you're looking to do?
that's the age-old argument. We obviously think ours is better. They think theirs is better, and we'll fight at the nationals.
The Nationals. Sorry, I keep changing the angle. I notice that I'm leaning over a little bit, and I don't want people to just have a primary view of the table in my hands.
But they're
Someone
nice
comes back
hands.
and someone
Oh,
states
man.
Whipple is twin screw, VMPs are twin vortices.
Not wrong. Twin vortices.
VMP C8 will be black if Rebecca chooses the color.
Accurate.
Let's see here.
I could see her driving a Corvette. She seems like a Corvette person.
Aiden says he's playing
Oh, I don't
Bloons
think I could.
TD5 right now while watching
He's
this.
what? What's he playing?
Playing Bloons TD5.
Oh, I have no idea.
How
kids
is
today.
Jaguar S Type 4 V8 for first car?
I don't know anything about those. Other than
I
the,
assume he's talking about the newer Jaguars, like the two-door hardtops. Because like they have
Probably. I know nothing about them other than I know that they were briefly owned by Ford. They used a lot of the Ford drivetrain stuff. Then they parted ways, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say
But-
Takata bought Jaguar and Land Rover.
But they kept a majority of the Ford powertrain stuff, I think. I'm not
I don't know.
sure.
I don't think so. I think you get like past like 2010 on a lot of Land Rover Jaguar stuff, and it goes away from Ford
maybe.
stuff.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Mustang said, isn't a day of the life of a tuner a lot of sitting at a desk, answering calls, adjusting people's shits for the sauce, and rejecting burble tunes?
Kind of.
Ish. I'd say that's probably like 20% of the day.
I was going to say 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the day, really.
That's a solid chunk of it.
Mhm.
And there's a solid 10% of Mike Whedon going, why?
Why is this happening? What did I ever do?
Redline Riot says Matt looked like he was about to die from the heat in the Hellcat Dino video.
It was real. It's hot. It's very hot out. It's
What is-
rather not pleasant.
What is the rev limiter set at on a Gen 1 control pack?
Ooh.
You're saying the stock rev limiter on a Gen 1 control pack? I believe it's 7,000 RPM if it's not at 72.
I think it's 72.
Yeah, well, I think the soft limiter, I think the hard limiter is set to 7,000, and then the EOT limiter is 7,200.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
It's pretty low. It's some wimpy number.
Yeah.
We got to pump up those numbers.
Those are rookie numbers.
Travis Schott says, how's it going, VMP from New
Hola.
York on vacation?
New York.
Joe Blow, is there a basic rule of thumb for fuel injector size?
I wouldn't say there's a basic rule of thumb so much as there's a calculator out there that's usually pretty accurate.
Joe 50 says, let's talk about how the C8 is going to get killed by the 2020 GT500. Big smile.
I would like that. I don't know if it's going to happen though.
I don't know.
Will the XBA elbow fit my Gen 1 VMP supercharger? Thanks again.
No, the XBA elbow is designed for the bolt pattern of a stock Trinity blower. Our Gen 1 elbow design uses a stock GT500 from 07 to 12 bolt pattern for the elbow flange.
Jeremy would like to know, can you ask Matt and Joe how they got started in tuning?
Oh, we had this question last week, I think.
Probably had this question at least 10 or 12 times through the course of Tuning Tuesday.
Yeah, but
It
he,
gets
see,
asked
in his
often.
defense, I think it's like the first time he's caught it in time. He usually catches it towards the end. So
I started when I started working for, or not started working for VMP, but a little while after I started working for VMP.
Jeremy knows my answer. He was there for most of it.
Yeah.
What would you say AB and 2000 Jaguar S Type 4 V8?
And then?
Yeah, VMP. What would you say about, I think he meant about the 2000 Jaguar S Type 4 V8.
If I knew enough to say anything, I'd say something. I don't.
I don't have a clue. I don't even know what it looks like.
Power limit on 56-pound injectors and booster pump?
Depends on what pressure you operate them at.
And what fuel?
Yeah.
When buying a 1314 power pack, is the tune, quote, off the shelf or personalized?
You said 18 power pack?
1314.
No, 13.
13, 14. So GT500 power pack then I assume? Not
Probably.
GT. I don't really think any tune here is an off the shelf per se.
Nope. You will get personalized service.
Mm-hmm.
We got you, fam.
Because off the shelf mean it's
Cal file, I guess. And have a nice day.
like it's an already pre-stored MTF. It's just
Yeah.
transferred from device to device.
Probably.
Then no, it's not.
Is a P115E error code anything to worry about? Throttle body airflow trim at max limit. Thanks.
In most cases, it is not anything to worry about.
Just means that it's opening the throttle blade to idle more than it wants.
More than is defined in the table
Correct.
for expected idle throttle angle.
My friend's neighbor says his stock 19 manual 5-liter ran 10.5 on street tires.
Your friend, neighbor is an idiot.
I'm pretty sure he has a 50-pound bag of black cow in the trunk of the car.
Yeah. I don't feel that's accurate.
Yeah.
Who made the V8?
I don't know.
The very first one was Henry Ford with the flathead, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure, because I know they had inline V8s back in the 1800s.
Yeah, unless Mercedes
They're
or
not inline V8s. I don't know why the hell I said inline 8-cylinder engines.
Yeah, I say unless Mercedes had something I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure Henry Ford was the first with the flathead. Fine. Someone Google it. Thank you, Chris.
How much wheel horsepower can I get out of a VMP Gen 2R 93 octane on a 17 GT?
Did he say pulley?
Did not.
93 octane, expect as high as 700 wheel on most applications before you run into an octane limit. And that'd be through manual.
Is a limited slip differential required, recommended when at a higher horsepower range?
I don't say limited slip differential is recommended based on any horsepower so much as it is
It's
traction.
requirements. It's once you start adding horsepower, you're going to want power to both tires for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even then, the limited slip is only going to take you so far. When you start getting into more and more power, then you're going to move into lockers and eventually spools,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your
What you're
intended
doing with the car.
application of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get to the point where you have too much power for one tire, then you probably should put a limited slip on there so you have power to both tires.
Yeah.
First V engine was built in 1902.
Who made it?
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh.
Leon something. Who was
Elon Musk? No, just kidding.
Leon.
Leon.
And it was
Man.
made for aviation and boats.
Okay, I was wrong.
1932, Henry Ford introduced the flathead V8.
Yeah, he wasn't too far off.
Just 24 years?
Yeah, but it was the 20s. Like all we had
I
was
suppose.
like everyone was drunk in the 20s. So
Or in a serious state of depression?
right.
Everyone's drunk now.
You ain't wrong.
Cadillac produced
The
the,
blo-
first American V8 in a
God
production vehicle.
Damn it.
The
Damn.
1914 L-head.
Damn it. All right, I was wrong. God, stupid GM. Well, it wasn't GM back then. Cadillac was its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
The black guy from TV.
That's his name, just to clarify.
Just to clarify, that's the name. Question for either one of you. He said, question for either one of you Matts. You both look like a Matt or a Cletus. Who was your favorite superhero? And twist, if you were the villain to that superhero, how would you take him or her down?
God, I don't have.
Goku, and Goku has a lot of people that go against him at one point or another. Does a nemesis or enemy have to be someone that's always your enemy, or
I
someone that
don't-
was
I
even
don't
just at
know.
one point in time your enemy? So I don't think he really has anyone that's like always and forever will be an enemy.
I don't.
He's kind of like turned everyone.
It just makes everyone good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. And see, I don't do the superhero thing. I don't know that many of them. I mean, the first one that pops in my mind would be Batman because he's got lots of cool toys. And face it, we all want cool.
Matt wants cool toys.
We all want cool toys or weapons.
There you go. There you go.
Batman's gun safe is most impressive. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So
Even the stuff that isn't guns in the safe is impressive.
right. So I think I'd probably have to. Pick
And he's
him.
got the brain side of things too.
And he's already a billionaire or whatever. So then there's that. I mean, I kind of would.
Brian's over here like terrible choice in superheroes, Matt. There's way better superheroes.
I'm just saying.
No, man, that is good.
And Dan?
I don't know who my nemesis would be.
Joker.
Yeah. I just shoot him.
Bright2K TV says, hey y'all, my Mustang is back up and running. Drove it to work today. Always tagging VMP on my Instagram.
Awesome. Appreciate it, sir.
Mad Max says, hello VMP crew.
Hello.
Hola.
Benjamin Ford says, Jag made the 4-liter V8.
Yeah, they did.
VMP Motorsport says, looking at getting a VMP fuel voltage booster for a 17 F-150 to help with VMP flex fuel tune. I think what he's saying is, will it help his VMP flex fuel tune?
Not necessarily.
No, it's pretty much you should probably not do a voltage booster unless you need it because it's just an unnecessary part. So unless you are having fuel pump flow issues that is not related to a failing pump and just the fact that you're exceeding the
flow rate.
the flow rate of the factory pump, then you could add one. So if your flex fuel tune is naturally aspirated, the stock pump should be fine. If yours boosted, then you might need one.
Yep.
Nick Turner says, I want to install a 1314 GT500 VMP triple pass heat exchanger with fans and a 1314 GT500 intercooler pump on my 04 Cobra. Is the wiring plug and play, and do you guys sell a plug and play wiring kit?
The wiring could be plug and play. So you'd have to take the you'd have to use 2 harnesses to make it plug and play. You'd have to use an 07 to 12 GT500 heat exchanger harness, and then the adapter harness that we make to go to the 1314 heat exchanger pump from the 07 to 12 wiring harness.
I don't know the answer to that.
That is the answer.
Jay Whitman says, probably an over-asked question, but one I'm curious about.
Oil pump gears.
Are you guys seeing any variance in the brands for long tube headers on 15 to 17 GTs? There's tons of opinions, but very little science.
Variance in regards to what?
Fitment. Yeah, I would say Fitment, yes, there is a big, wide range. Performance-wise, I would say almost say less than performance-wise, because at the end of the day, it's a tube that's bent and it collects down underneath, and
Yeah. I haven't done an A to B to C to D to E to F to G.
No, nobody. I don't think there's
comparison
anyone
on
crazy
headers.
enough on the planet to sit there and put 5 sets of headers on a car.
It's not something that's easy or fast to swap out.
No, maybe on an engine stand wouldn't be that hateful, but even then.
But why though?
Yeah. So I feel that I've always said this, that let's say you're going to pick up 30 horsepower with a set of long tubes. The cheapest set is probably going to get you 25, and the most expensive set is going to get you 35. You know what I mean? And I feel that all the other ones fit somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
That's why everyone uses like the Speed Daddy for headers. So pretty much as long as they fit and they're not welded like crack and they don't crack and fall apart and all this stuff, power-wise, they're probably all pretty close, because at the end of the day, they're all mandrel bent tubes that are all the same size, and they all go down underneath the car. And
from an installer / repair side, I like ball and socket flanges over slip fits.
Correct.
Or V-bands over slip fits.
Correct. So pretty much buy the one that fits the best and go from there.
What do you guys think about the new Ford 445 cubic inch engine, and would you guys be able to put a blower on it?
The new 7.3.
I assume he's talking about 7.3.
Looks promising. Do you see the thing makes, now let me make sure I get this right.
400 and something
it makes like
pound-feet of torque at
430 foot-pounds of torque at 1,500 RPM from a naturally aspirated gasoline engine.
Yep.
Think about that for a second.
Needs a TVS.
Yes. That's the first thing I said. I was like, ooh, this is going to be fun with a blower on it.
Exactly.
So I don't know a whole lot about it. I haven't studied it a lot, other than it looks pretty promising. It's the numbers are there, so we'll see. And it's for a Super Duty, so it's going to be more than likely overbuilt for what it is. So I don't know if it's a cast iron block or an aluminum block. I don't remember.
I want to say it's compacted graphite.
It's probably the compacted graphite, like the 6.2, which means the block's going to be like indestructible. And because it's Super Duty, it means it's going to have a forged crank, I'm sure. So it might take a whole bunch of power. We'll see.
Yeah. Good rule of thumb is if it makes a lot of power naturally aspirated, it's going to make a whole lot of power.
Yeah, exactly.
With some more atmosphere.
A 14 GT Auto with CJ Manny, twin 67s, JLT cold air, OR mid pipe, VMP 91 octane tune. What kind of gains can I expect by switching to E85 tune?
Depends on how much timing you're currently running on the 91 tune.
True.
Harley Topper says, pass on to Joe. Thanks for the update on the GT500. Car has been a solid monster. No more random throttle issues.
Oh, nice. That was the one we fixed, right?
I'm not sure which one. What was his username again?
Topper Harley?
I'm not sure which one Topper Harley is.
I thought that was the one we fixed here, but that wasn't him.
No. I appreciate that you appreciate it, though.
Thank you for thinking.
Yeah.
Mark Davis says, I have a 15 with your Gen 3 1050X headers. I have 2 tunes, 85 millimeter on 93 octane and 100 octane with boosting. Could I go with a smaller pulley on 100 octane without changing tune?
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I'd have to
You-
look at your file and see if there's enough range in your full setup to support
Yeah,
a smaller pulley.
it is possible. We would
But
want to,
it's
at
one of
the
those things you
very,
definitely want to be sure of.
yeah, you would want to be sure. At the very least, we would want to maybe do like a partial watt hit and send us a log after Joe gives you the green light. But you probably could, yes.
Does anyone make a larger elbow for the Gen 1 blower, or is it time for a Gen 2R?
We make a larger elbow for a Gen 1 blower. It's I want to say we called it like 72 elbow. Should be like the SKU or part of the SKU on the website.
We probably still got some back there.
Yeah, but that elbow is specifically made for 07 to 12 stock GT500 superchargers, not the 1314. The only ones that I'm aware of for 1314 are the BPS elbow and the XBA.
Billet Pro Shop.
Mm-hmm.
I have their X pipe.
Oh, man.
Not on my car. I bought it and then I was not able to use it. And now
Mad
it's
Max says, have heard that the new GT500 advertised numbers of power were to the wheels. What do you think about it?
I think that the SAE test for engine horsepower, advertised engine horsepower, doesn't work that way.
No, 'cause-
But I think that maybe if they specified the horsepower 91 octane
yeah.
and rated it 491 and you put 93 in it and the knock sensors add in timing, you may measure the advertised horsepower at the wheels.
There's always that, because you never know what they're doing for bean counter or insurance or EPA reasons. I mean,
Well, all of that aside, there's now SAE standards for advertised horsepower and how,
right.
so they
Was
can't
that
really,
but what did they do? Was that applied when the O3 Cobra was made, or was that prior to the ASE stuff?
or,
I'm just saying, when I go back to the O3 Cobra days where it was rated at 390 horsepower and it made 390 the tire.
yeah, but the SAE test for advertised horsepower doesn't work like that. It has to maintain peak horsepower for like a minute.
Gotcha.
So like when we're doing a 5 or 7 second test,
Yeah.
the
it's not getting
advertised
hot. Yeah.
power that we measure may be higher than what it does during the SAE test for advertised horsepower.
So there's a chance the thing's going to dyno really well,
Yeah,
just
Yeah, for
depending.
sure. Yeah, I mean, if
And
you
there's
guys are
always gonna
interested
be-
in that stuff, you guys can look up the SAE procedure for advertising horsepower. I forget what SAEJ it is, but there's a testing procedure for that.
And there's definitely the chance that you could ice the thing down and put 100 unleaded in the tank, and the thing could put down quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's always that chance without tuning it. or
Yeah,
anything
without
like that.
looking at the file, I don't know how much it has the ability to add in terms of timing. I don't know
I know
what it calls out on a base.
I know of people that have files and we're snooping around them, but I haven't seen one yet.
Yeah.
I haven't asked either. I'm sure I could.
If you know who you are, send us some files and we'll take a peek at them.
I don't think he's watching right now. He's busy doing cool stuff.
Race car stuff.
We're being requested, Chris, more videos on the 15 to 17 F-150 5-liter.
On it.
I know a guy with one of those.
What's the horsepower limit on 56-pound injectors with a fuel pump booster on a 17 S550 with Roush supercharger, 93 octane?
Okay.
Usually about a 75 millimeter pulley, sometimes as low as a 72 on gasoline-based fuels, which usually ends up being around 700, 750 wheel.
Yeah, I was going to say 700.
Slab Shack says just made it. What did I miss? Any oil pump gear questions?
Not
No.
today, not yet, Slab Shack.
Realize
Or at least not
we've
to
actually
carry
gone
the red
like
for
3
us.
weeks without one, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, don't jinx us like that.
No, it's okay. It's
Rick-
okay. It's okay.
Rick Hackness says, what up, Joe?
Hola, Ricky Bobby. You broke my heart. You didn't show up for our lunch date.
Drew would like to know, what does VMP stand for?
Velocity Mustang Performance.
You know, I worked here and I didn't know that. I had to ask Justin. I was like, what does that stand for? I never actually really bothered to learn.
Dalton Samuel's on the line. He says, what's needed to run a S197 Coyote on E85? Asking for a friend. Eyeballs.
You, sir, will need an injector upgrade, preferably 47s, because they're cheap and easy to tune, and
And they
fit
have the
right in.
correct targeting for the valve setup on a 5-liter head.
Correct.
That
Now, he does have some, I believe, some 750 cc's that I sold him like 37 years ago for his truck that he could probably use, but he doesn't have to.
John Roos says, good afternoon, fellows.
Hey, John.
Hello, John.
Redline Riot is asking, do we sell VMP pullovers like Justin wore in that Dude in Blues VMP Gen 3 video?
I assume he means hoodies?
Yes.
Pullovers and hoodies the same
I
thing?
think he might be talking about that black long sleeve one that has the Gen 3 on it.
I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't know.
It's-
I know we have hoodies.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the black long sleeve one.
The one that Chuck always wears? It's our shirt with long sleeves.
Oh.
I'll check into that. If it's, I know it's not on the website because I just looked, but I will see if we offer those for sale and if we have any in the back, and if we do, I'll get them up on the website.
Sweet.
Have you heard that the new GT500 advertised numbers of power? Well, that's the same question.
Yes. Have you heard that the bird is the word?
I know.
Bird is the bird.
Nastang says, I can only be on for a few, so for Matt's pleasure, today's data fact
Oh,
is
yes, I love this guy.
I recently wrote an analytics program that graphs horsepower and torque based on inputs such as AFR, RPM, cam profile, fuel and timing, etc.
So he made desktop dyno.
And he says, no, you can't have it because it's probably not very reliable. But I did graph out a Voodoo engine almost accurately.
Ooh.
Nice.
Jay Whitman says, thanks for answering about the headers. I should have clarified. It was in regards to power/performance. In regards to fitment, do you have a recommendation? I'm installing them on jack stands.
Ooh. So if you're doing them yourself, then you want the best fitment you can get.
And did he say what type of car it was?
I think he said S550, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. So
I think in terms of fitment, I think Cook's has it on point with
Cook's,
fitment and installed. Stainless Works.
Stainless Works. American Racing, they can be slightly troublesome.
16 GT.
Yeah, that's S550.
Okay. So, yeah,
Any of your top companies are going to be,
I'd say the ones at the top
fairly-
are definitely Cook's, ARH, Stainless Works.
yeah, for sure. Bassani, but even then, I don't even know, they don't do, they've been
I've
quiet
never
lately.
installed a set of Bassani long tubes on
That's
an
because no one buys them
S550.
anymore. They're kind of quiet over there.
Yeah, they do axle backs and like res deletes and stuff, but
And all of Hellions turbo kits.
yeah. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, they've been kind of quiet over there. But any of your big manufacturers are all going to fit great. The LTHs fit decent.
Yeah.
The LTHs fit really nice.
So he responded, he said, so pull out the wallet to save the knuckles. Got it. And
Yeah,
then,
that's what I was getting at. Is you can put some speed daddies on, but medical bills add up.
And then David Ray came back and said, I did Stainless Works on jack stands. Fit was good.
Yeah, see.
Nice. If you're doing an S550 with Stainless Works, just make sure you either remove or shave down the passenger side AC stud that
Yep.
holds the line to the frame rail. Otherwise,
I
you
have
get false
all of this
nomination.
false knock, and I don't
I don't understand. I have
why.
E85.
Jason McAllister says, best VMP kit for a daily driven 16 GT 6-speed on 93. He's
Gen 3.
looking for 6 to 650 to the wheel.
If you're looking for 6 to 650, Gen 3 will get the job done.
Gen 3.
Gen 2R will get the job done. Gen 3R will get the job done. Which one's the best kit for you is determined based on how far you plan on going within, we'll call it like the next year or so.
That Gen 3 is going to hit hard, though.
Yeah, she is.
Jonathan Jacob Jingley Smith says,
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Jingley Smith, I wanted to get my car retuned. My last tuner was Alex when he worked for VMP. If I just wanted a revision and have the same mods, would it cost any money?
We would take a look at it, I'm sure.
Yeah, it depends on how old it is, but if you can, just shoot us an email with your name, the mods that are currently on the car, and the last time you received a file, and we can kind of judge based on that.
We will gladly take a look at your file. Make sure it is all copacetic.
Did you guys see the video we released today,
No.
earlier?
I watched them later so I can argue with people in the comment section.
So, it's, all right, with that said, we're being asked about the teaser video. They're kind of like, so that teaser video, huh?
I don't even know what we're teasing.
It wouldn't be a teaser video if we gave away the details before it dropped.
What is the video a teaser of?
A certain supercharger.
Oh, okay.
Cameron Maurer says, French band Leon Levasseur.
Huh?
It's
The guy that invented the
Levasseur was a 39-year-old inventor in 1902 when he took out a patent for the first V8 engine he called the Antoinette.
See, now that's just cool.
He fancy.
But he got forgotten in history. That's what makes me sad. And he's there, but
Who invented the cell phone?
singular. No, just kidding.
Throwback. For all those kids out there,
Motorola.
Singular's what came before AT&T.
Motorola did, if I'm not
Or
mistaken.
maybe not before AT&T, but was eventually bought out by AT&T.
The new 7.3 is cast iron, not CGI, unfortunately. Crank is forged. Pistons and rods are derived from the EcoBoost manufacturing processes.
It's going to be strong,
Nice.
man. Yeah, it's going to take a beating.
Next thing says, but I don't get the excitement around the Godzilla motor. Ford already has a big pushrod V8s in their Ford Performance catalog that are performance-centric.
No, I don't. Displacement is never a bad thing, especially if it's got a cylinder head that flows a lot. The Raptor is sadly the engine that got forgot about. That cylinder head flows a ton of air, and everyone just kind of glazed over it.
Yeah.
Mark over at Bullet Cams did a whole bunch of screwing around with the 6.2 stuff, and I mean there was people making over 600 naturally aspirated. They had their little faults here and there. So, I mean, you're talking about a ported head that flow 400. So if the 7.3, it's got a bunch of displacement on it. If it has a halfway decent cylinder head on it, then it's going to be game on.
Dale Singe says, hello guys. Harley Topper came back. He says 13 GT500, 2.4 on JLT 123, twin 67, no meows. Makes all the power and no more throttle issues. Had cammed idle at random installs. Also now straight piped and kills the hearing of the county.
I like it.
How much power can half-inch fuel line support? Y'all have any experience with the AEM 044 pumps?
So a half-inch line can support a lot depending on what pressure you're operating it at. I think you'd run out of most reasonably sized injectors before you'd run out of fuel on a half-inch line.
Yeah, half-inch line's quite a bit, and then you've got pressure drop across the line. So keep in mind that you push hard enough, it'll flow wherever you need it to flow.
But
it's a matter of
past the pop-off or head pressure.
Right, that's what I mean. The more restrictive your line is, the more pressure you have at the pumps. So if you've got 60 psi at the regulator, you might have 70 or 75 psi at the pumps.
Yep.
So as long as you've got enough pump in front of it or behind it, I mean, you could technically make all the power you wanted on like a 5/16 line.
Yep.
It's just a matter of you got to push that much harder. So the idea behind it is that you go bigger in line.
You get less drop over the
You get
course
less
of the
drop
entire
over the
length.
course of the system. Half-inch will support quite a bit though, because we've made, I mean, not necessarily the smart thing to do, but I've made 700 on stock 03 Cobra fuel lines. So,
I
and
wouldn't
that's,
say it's necessarily dumb either.
I'm just saying, it's
Gets the
been,
job done.
it's been done, so, and those are tiny, like, I think they're 5/16.
Yeah.
So-
and, like we've made well over 1,000 on a Dash 8 hose.
Right. So, you don't necessarily have to go to the big stuff, it's just easier on the rest of the system if you do have the big stuff.
Yep.
I just watched the Gen 1 intake manifold shootout. Why wasn't the GT350 intake tested? Similar results to the 18?
I would speculate, yeah.
Yeah, we probably didn't have one in stock at the time.
I don't think we did, actually. That being said, in the testing that I have done, they're pretty damn close to each other. And plus, the 18 is so much cheaper than the GT350.
It kind of makes it almost irrelevant.
It kind of, yeah, it's 3 times as much money for extremely close horsepower to the 18. So,
Yeah.
And the GT350 has an adapter to run.
yeah,
The
plus
stock
it
throttle
exactly
body.
has a different
Yeah.
throttle body opening as well. So there is that. Look at Chris.
Look at him. He's
him.
learned so much. He's learned so
He's
much.
come so far.
Hey.
She's just laughing.
Redline Riot says, Joe, you need to know that every week I will ask you, what do you compare oil pump gears to?
It's just whether or not she reads it.
These beats.
So just so you know. Bry2KTV says Roush Stage 2 VMP 8 rib pulley kit, 67 millimeter throttle body, 5% over lower pulley, 82 millimeter upper, headers and free flow exhaust. Running on 91 for now, E85 tune coming soon. What numbers should I see?
More than 5, less than 1,000.
It makes what it makes, buddy.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
What engine? What year was it?
I don't see that on here.
That's awkward.
Roush Stage 2.
So it's
That's what I
probably
see.
an 11 to 14 car.
Yeah.
So
And
probably
yeah.
all the stock motor will handle.
Yeah, probably just
Probably
a
about
tad under,
700.
tad under or over 800.
I was
If it's an 11, 12, I wouldn't go over 7.
Right.
13, 14, got a
17
little bit more
GT.
wiggle room. It's a 17.
Oh,
As much as you want, really.
it'll make quite a bit.
I feel like we need more air conditioning in here.
75.
Yeah, regardless of what that says, it feels hot in here. Maybe it's the lights.
That's your sexiness.
Ooh, BB. It's that spicy taco from earlier.
No, that was Jesse. That
Ooh,
was Jesse that came into sales and just blew everybody out.
sad.
Does anyone make a kit to put any of the VMP blowers on a 2-valve?
Yeah, TorqueTech
TorqueTech.
makes a kit to put in a 304 Cobra.
It's actually a nice kit too.
Yeah,
It's nice enough that we've decided not to make one.
exactly.
I heard that you guys won't clear the MIL light for off-road headers with a
You
tune.
heard correctly.
That is correct.
Is this correct? I live in an emissions-exempt state county. They don't even safety inspect here.
Yeah, unfortunately. You can yell at California for that one.
You can yell at the EPA for that one in the Clean Air Act of the late 60s.
Joe, are you working on a ghost cam tune?
I'm working on a lot of stuff right now, but yeah,
He's going to ghost cam his ghost cam.
while I'm ghost camming.
Yeah.
Let's see what else here. Mark
Okay.
says, I installed a set of Corsa on jack stands with no issues.
Ooh, Corsa's not bad.
Yeah,
Forgot about them.
Corsa, MBRP, all those guys make headers now too.
Pretty much anyone with a jig and a TIG welder.
I changed my plugs because I had misfiring issues and did a crank relearn, and now there is a code stuck, P0315. Doesn't
Yeah,
go
crankshaft
away.
position variation not learned.
Doesn't go away even if I clear it. Says for crank sensor, but I
Yep.
have RPM reading on the gauge.
Yeah, you have to do
Yeah.
the crank relearn again.
Yeah,
It
so
sounds
your
like
crank relearn
you-
wasn't successful.
Yeah. Do it again and again and again. And keep doing it until the
Until
code
it-
goes away.
Yeah. Until it says crankshaft position variation learned.
It sounds like he did the crank relearn, which erases the previous stored data.
Well, he initiated it, but it may have completed, but it did not actually take
Right,
a
well
good-
that's what I'm getting at, is he effectively made it worse because it didn't do it properly, and now it had, because it didn't, I assume it didn't have the code before. So what it is by doing the crank relearn and it not completing or doing it properly, now it does have the code.
Yeah. Now instead of a PO300, he's got a PO315.
I'd take 315 any day though.
13 F-150, because my 35-inch tires, I can run a true dyno with 93 octane. Gen 2 82 millimeter pulley. What guess is my rear wheel horsepower with 373 gears?
That's a lot of tire. I don't know that car.
373 gears on what car? The F-150?
That's what it sounds like on a 13
On
F-150.
35s? I don't know, man.
I don't know that one. We need a chart.
For F-150s with 373s and 355 gears with our blower?
No, just a horsepower chart.
It should make some good power. Can't tell you exact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Horse GD says, can I get a detailed explanation on how oil pump gears work?
They spin.
On how they pump oil?
They go whooshy whoosh.
No, through a squishing effect.
They squish.
They do, there's the larger gear and the smaller gear, and they do the squish and the shove.
Yep, pushy push. They push it real good. Salt and pepper to you?
But if they push too hard, Then the adjuster valve.
You get the Weebles wobble,
Right,
and then you don't fall down.
right. He's not wrong. It's a gear rotor design. It works
He
exactly the
says
same as
that
the pumps in
helped
a
me a
transmission.
lot. Thanks.
No problem, man.
We got you.
Just think of it this way. There's some things in the world that you don't need to understand how they work. They just need to work.
He said oil pump gears. What about a dry sump?
You talking about like a mandrel-driven pump?
Yeah.
What about mechanical fuel pumps? Or the other style of mechanical oil pump?
All the
Like
pressures.
distributor-driven oil pumps and stuff like that.
You got to use your drill to prime it and things. Ugh.
Moving on.
Ended. Nothing to see here.
What power rating is each stage Ben Calamer MT82 rated for? Also, is a McLeod RXT a good clutch choice considering price versus Mantic?
I don't know the Ben. You'd have to ask Ben. I don't know on that.
Yeah, I'd say they're both very similar products from a how they're going to perform on a car standpoint, but I think the quality you're getting with some of the pieces and parts that's included with the MFP kit is just a skosh higher,
Oh yeah.
or at least
The Manic?
perceived
You're talking about the
quality from all the
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a stamped steel pressure plate versus a billet pressure plate. There's a number of things. It's not like the RXT is a bad clutch.
No, it's a great
It's
clutch.
a great
just-
clutch. Pedal feels great. It's
Yeah.
not a Manic. They're just two completely different levels.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that and plus I believe the RXT is not rebuildable versus the Manic is rebuildable.
A lot of the RXTs, if you call McLeod and say that you want it to be rebuilt, they'll rebuild it for you.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It's not advertised as being rebuildable. I will
Yeah.
say that.
yeah, for sure.
So you get more clutch with Manic, but it's more expensive. So
Hmm. From a function
right.
standpoint, if you're under 800 wheel, they should.
they probably either
Both
one
do
do
the
same.
job.
Yeah. As far as the transmissions, I don't know what they're rated at, and plus it's like impossible to actually rate a manual transmission.
The problem is you have to rate the driver
Right.
before you rate the transmission.
Right. There's about 30 variables that'll affect whether a manual transmission will handle the power or not, ranging
Mm-hmm.
from the
Oh hell, our manual,
what you're
1100
racing.
wheel.
Right. Well, it's like what you're racing on, how sticky the surface you're racing on, what tire you're
How
using,
you release the clutch.
how you release the clutch, what sidewall is in the tire, whether it's got an aluminum or a carbon drive shaft, because there's give in the drive line, whether you have solid differential bushings or rubber differential bushings, because that absorbs hit,
Yeah,
whether you're an idiot and you can't shift.
all those things.
So it's impossible to rate it. But
221 kids.
oh, no.
Ask the good questions. And we'll try to answer
You've
them
been-
quickly.
Are you saying that they're holding out
I
on
still
us?
have a list of stuff here
Well, let's go.
that we can get
Sorry.
through.
Fire away.
91 Boostain tune, switching to E85. How much gain on an 18 Mustang, Manny, PMAS, cold air, 47 injectors, and stock headers?
Depends on how much timing it's running on the 91.
He's going from
Boosting.
he's going from Boostain to 85. So really, I don't think there's going to be a timing gain. It's going to be a cooling gain because from the E85. So I would speculate 10-ish, 10, 15 horsepower probably.
It's possible.
Matt, to your point, my understanding the cylinder heads on the 7.3 are monsters.
Yeah, see, that's
Ford
Yeah.
Ford said one of the many reasons they went back to push rods was because the heads were so free-flowing and OHC setup was causing mixing issues in the cylinder.
I can believe that. So like the thing makes 430 foot-pounds at 1500. It's got to have port velocity just off the charts. So
is
it's
true.
gonna be it's gonna do work.
All of it.
I have an 03 Expedition, Eddie Bauer, 5.4 liter. Not sure if it's 2 or 3 valve, but I know it has an issue with spark plugs popping out. If it's
That's
fixed
a 2
with,
valve.
if it's fixed with the sleeves, can it be modded?
Yeah. I mean, you're still the weak link of that engine being the connecting rods. They're just tiny little toothpicks.
Yeah.
So
Just the little guys.
yeah, they're just little guys. So which is basically the same rod that was like in the Lightning, for example.
Yeah.
So you're going to be limited to the same 400-ish horsepower as the Lightning. But yes,
Then
if the plugs are fixed, there's no reason not to mod it. It's fine.
Topper Harley says, how much for a Ghost Cam tune? I don't see it on the site.
Well, that's extra because Joe has to sit in a ghost cam tune car and it has
While
to be
it's ghost
idling, and so it has to be ghost camming while he writes your ghost cam tune.
Yeah, it's
So you've got extra fuel expenses and things like that.
Yep.
But we can work on it, I'm sure. I would contact Joe directly via his cell phone.
No.
Preferably after 9 o'clock at night.
No.
And you see that buzz?
Boom.
Daniel Paul says, what would I be looking at to try and make close to 4 digits on a 2-valve with an 0304 Cobra blower?
Ooh. Well, the blower would be your... I would think the blower would be the limiting factor. It would need a trick flow head, a whole bunch of compression, and some really, really good fuel, and the most blower you could stick on it. And it might get you close.
Race car.
That would be my my prediction. I don't think that's ever been done. I don't think anyone's ever made 1,000 on a 2-valve with a blower.
I feel like that's accurate.
B&B Motorsports says, hopefully soon I'll be putting on a Gen 3 R kit on my 17 F-150 with E85 system and headers with billet oil crank gears. Looking for 8 to 890 wheel. Will Mustang cams a must or good upgrade? If so, what one?
17 F-150. I don't know if the Mustang cams are a swap. I always get those confused.
I wouldn't bother putting Mustang cams in it if it's a 15 to 17 truck. I'd build the bottom end if my goal was 800, 850 wheel.
Yeah, stock cams are fine.
Are the 2020 GT heads supposed to fit on Coyotes and Voodoos? Let's assume valve train swap parts exist for the applications.
I believe it will, because I believe they're based off of the Voodoo architecture, which is also based off of the 18 cylinder head. So
It's possible.
I'm willing to bet that they're interchangeable.
You sure they're not cathedral port versus rectangle port?
No, I don't believe that's the case. We have issues if they are.
Alpha Matter says, shout out to Mike Whedon. Gave me all the sauce at 31 degrees timing, 91 boosting, pulls like a freight train.
Nice.
He does copiously dish out the sauce.
The sausage or the sauce?
He likes
The
sauces.
same.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Wait. Porque?
It's the beard. ZZ
It's
Top.
gotta be. How many people are watching?
7.
We have 66 people on YouTube. It's dropping on Facebook. So.
No, come back.
Baby, come back.
Joe, take his shirt off if you come back.
What?
Will you
Maybe
offer
not.
any ghost blower tunes anytime soon?
Ghost blower,
Ghost
too.
blower.
Is that like the next thing up?
Yeah, what you do for a ghost blower tune is you hit the math by about 1.2% above 5 hertz.
I like it.
And,
And
or not by 1.2%, by 1.20 for,
20%.
yeah.
And what does
And
this
then-
do?
Then your load calculation comes up, and all of a sudden you have a supercharger.
Oh, I get it.
Spark goes down,
I
everything.
get it. So
Just
it's like
you have a blower.
Okay.
Except you
okay.
don't have a blower.
How do you make it whine?
You put someone very,
Annoying in the passenger seat?
yeah, and tell them you spent a whole bunch of money on your new supercharger.
I get it.
And then your car's not any faster, so they start whining.
I get it.
What's different between Boss cams and regular Coyote cams?
I think it's 13 millimeter lift versus 12, or 12 versus
Something
11.
like that. I don't remember. I know the springs are
Yeah.
different too. It's not much. It's not very much. They're
They're
bigger.
basically S550 cams versus S197 cams.
Yeah, that's my understanding, because the S550 got what I understand is to be the Cobra Jet intake can, or Cobra Jet cams, which was a derivative of the Boss cams or something along those lines. So it is bigger, but not much.
Just to
Yee.
oh, sorry.
It's okay. I was just going, yee.
Just took the clutch out of my Mustang and it still has meat, but it feels like glass on the surface. Is it glazed?
If it's
possible.
shiny, then it is more than likely glazed. Especially if the pressure plate or the flywheel is blued or shiny, like glazed over.
Yeah.
Then yeah. But the good news is you can usually, if it's got plenty of meat left, people are gonna hate me for this, but you can rough up the surfaces, resurface it, and put it all back together. Done
Yeah.
that. If you're in a pinch, you can do that. Been there, done that.
Yeah, I was going to say I'd rather not.
Obviously, it's better to put another clutch in it, but if you're like broke kid in college kind of thing.
At that point, just don't beat on your car and it should be fine.
Going back to the difference between boss cams and regular Coyote cams, he came back and said, can you make them lope or should in buy comp stage 3 cams? Or should I buy, I think is what he's saying.
If all you're looking for is lope, then don't buy cams.
Yeah, because even the comps are not going to lope just because they sit at like 30 degrees advance at idle.
Yeah.
So the lope is due to our lobe separation angle, which is controlled by the computer. So you
On
can take
Coyote at least.
right on a Coyote, right? So
Don't want them GT500 guys telling us to change the lobe separation angle at idle.
I mean, we could. They won't like it.
What is the best platform engine Ford makes to start a street strip project Mustang to get around 500 to 600 horsepower with minimal bolt-ons?
The GT500.
Yep.
Topper Harley says can't drain the power steering anymore. To get a supercharger-ish whine, might have
Yeah,
to
that's
put,
true. I like it.
Might have to put some grease on the serpentine belt to make it squeak.
These are all fairly accurate things.
Yeah.
You can pull a vacuum light off and the hissing noise will be like the blower.
It's true.
Aiden came back and says, is it possible to create electricity from cow urine?
What?
I suppose if the...
He's asking that question, which means he already knows the answer.
I was going to say, as long as there's a pH differential between the two.
Probably.
There should be.
He probably saw it in some fact somewhere.
The Redline Riot says, I whistle in my boss to pretend it is supercharged.
You could always get one of those plug-in things that plugs
The
into
whistle
the cigarette
tips?
lighter. No, that plugs into the cigarette lighter, detects engine speed off of the alternator wave.
I was just picturing the news article. The guy goes, all they do is drive around and go, woo, woo.
And with that said, it is 2:30.
No.
It's about that time, guys.
Oh,
It's been fun doing chesty things with you. I don't even know if it's still recording. Holy crap, it is recording.
Hi.
I think he reset it, though.
I did.
Okay.
I stopped it for most of Tuesday.
Perfect. Yeah, I guess check us out next week. Like, share, subscribe, and by share, I mean post it on your friend's timeline and tag his
Repeatedly.
mother-in-law,
Repeatedly.
and then let the fun ensue. And bring some good questions next week. Not that any of these were particularly bad.
It's a good
Like
one.
a lot of them are the same questions.
Mm.
How much power does my car make with this setup?
Well, yeah, but that's what they want to know.
Yeah, I guess.
They can come at us with different stuff for sure.
Yeah. Until then, guys, have fun. And
now you know
do
the
race car
rest
stuff?
of the story. Old
And
Paul Harvey
now,
stuff.
And now you can see from the other side of the lens coming up here soon. And
And then it's everything.
I think that's it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Love you a long time.